Oh man. Bad stuff happened today. The bathroom's a mess. Mac decided to attack Sassy. Terrible, terrible news. Mac, I don't know if he was surprised or I had him in separate cages and then Sassy woke up and I soaked Sassy in the bathtub like I am here with Mac. Soaked her in the bathtub for 25 minutes, put her in Mac's cage where he's underground, and put Sassy in there, and she immediately went to look for Mac, and Mac went off on her, and they were fighting under the ground, so I had to lift up everything that's in that cage to just immediately get to them, and he was latched onto her and really hurting her, and she was turning around and biting him in retaliation. His mouth got kind of boogered up right here. It's not bloody or anything, but just kind of superficial. Okay. But coming into here, everything is a wreck. Put Sassy back in her hide box where she was sleeping. Mac was in here in the big cage. I had turned on all the lights and I thought Sassy would go and sit on her under the UVB light and the heat lights. And Mac was under this board right here that I have made an underground burrow. And Sassy went in there to him, and that's when they started struggling and fighting. And so I had to rip this apart. I mean, literally just rip it apart and get to them and smack Mac on the head and get him to release Sassy. So it was a brutal bite, and I don't know if there were other bites. But Sassy is here now. And it's going to be difficult to see because I don't think this camera focuses. Don't get upset. Right here, he put a laceration across the backside of her tail that is deep. Let's see if we can get her out. I cleaned it. Medical, human grade, antibiotic stuff, cleanser, and you can see as she moves and it'll open up, depending on how her tail is positioned. Pretty good gash right here across. He was really, really biting down on her. So I cleaned it, and then I have a lot of antibiotic cream on there, human grade, on there, and pack that in there. And so, I mean, that's the best I can do. We're not getting stitches or anything like that. That'd be $1,000. As long as, I can manage that, make sure it doesn't get infected, I think we'll be okay. And they had to have hurt, because when Mac was about 2 foot long, he had latched on to my hand, and it was terrible, the bite force. And so I could tell this time, Mac, when he was biting down on her, he was exerting maximum or close to maximum jaw pressure. I mean, Sassy was not having it, and it was hurting her. It's just something that happens, with animals, dogs and cats get in fights all the time, and dogs get in fights and they can actually kill each other pretty easily. So luckily I was here in the room when it happened and heard it and pulled them apart. Sassy usually takes the brunt force of accidents with the dog or Mac or whatever it is. Unfortunate. She seems to be okay. Oh, it's kind of opening up again. Maybe time for some super glue. It's okay, sweetie. It's okay. I'm sorry. Maybe Sassy surprised him. I don't know. these two have been raised for 4 years together, and this has not happened to this extent. But they are getting to that 4-year mark, or past the 4-year mark, and so their maturity and their testosterone and her hormones, I'm not 100% aware of what's going on with them, but they love to sleep with each other and spend time with each other, and they were born and raised together. And so I had little things to, not tell me that not to put her into the large cage with Matt, because this, again, is the first time this has happened. But yeah, it's a nasty bite. Nasty. It's swelling. But I thought I produce videos and I tell it like it is. And it's not always good, wonderful things that happen and, oh, wonderful and great day. This is not a good event. And so, but I want to bring it to you. Oh, it's a bad bite. Luckily it's on the fat part of her tail and not on a foot or a toe or the end of her tail or her head around her eyes. All right, here she is after a little bit of tender love and care. I put some more antibiotic ointment under some gauze and tape that on there. Just put a little bit of compression. We'll take that off maybe in about 3 days, because I know from many accidents and injuries with me and dog and people that you want to get air to the wound, and that really helps to heal. You don't want to keep the wound wet or moist. You want to let it dry out, and that's when it starts to heal and starts to crust back over and turn back into skin. Keep it moist and wet, it'll go on for weeks and weeks and likely get infected. So that's what I'm doing, not what we're doing. I guess what we're doing, me and Sassy. Got that on her, so we'll just put her back in her little box and let her go to sleep and rest. I'm sorry this happened, Sassy. You can't foretell what animals are going to do. You're not going under the door. I'm sorry, baby. Oh, that's bad. And there's Mac. Mac, why did you attack Sassy? You're not supposed to hurt your loved one. That's your lady. Oh, Mac's almost 4 foot long. He's got a serious bite. That's not good, sweetheart. You should not have done that.